Good morning and welcome to day 2 of our Sporty Piko sew along. Today's steps will include creating the chest pocket and attaching it to the front of the top. We'll also be creating the back piece by sewing together the two color block options. Pretty easy and straightforward. I went ahead and pressed 1/2 inch on each of the sides and the bottom. You can optionally obviously serge this edge, but because it's neat it won't unravel, so I'm just not serging that. And I like to put a couple of clips where the folds are, like so, just to keep it in place. And then I went and created a memory hem by pressing 1 inch at the bottom. We're gonna open that one right now and just stitch around the 1, 2, 3, 4 sides of the pentagon. For this step, I'm going to use a straight stitch because the pocket doesn't really need to have stretch in it. I'm just going to lengthen it to 3 millimeters and do my tension at 3.8. And because it's neat and I'm using a straight stitch, you will see a waviness in the fabric, and that's normal. You just need to give it a good steam press when you're done, and it will make it lay flat once more. I like to do my first stitch on the machine, on the sewing machine, because when I add it to the front, I will make another stitch and it will look like a faux cover stitch. Or of course I could use my actual cover stitch, but you don't need one for this pattern. Okay, see the waviness? That will disappear once I give it a good steam press. Okay, so now you're gonna fold the top, the 1 inch you've made before, and then stitch it down. And I realized that yesterday when I was cutting the pattern pieces with my projector, I forgot to mark my pocket piece. So if you've done that as well, I'll show you how to mark your pocket pieces without turning on the projector again. Of course you can reopen it and mark it, but because I didn't want to do that and turn everything off again, I'll show you what to do to mark your pocket placement. To mark your pocket piece after you've cut everything, just lay your pattern, lay your fabric from the front. This way you can see the neckline curve. And I just printed page 1 of the actual pattern piece. I don't need anything else because page 1 has the spots for the top corners for my and the sides for my pocket. So all I need is basically that page 1, and I can use the neckline as my guide where to place it. So I'm just cutting out the pocket here. It's just like the top of the pocket, but that's all I need to mark my placement. I don't need the whole pocket. So this would be the fold line, the shoulder, incomplete. So disregard that, it's not all because I just cut the first pattern piece. So I'm laying my pattern piece to match the neckline and the shoulder. There you go. So I don't need the rest. And then I'm placing my pocket following the placement guide. So I'm taking this off now and using some pins, I'll just pin it in place. The advantage of a magnetic watch band. I've discovered this a while back and I'm using it to collect pins on it. I'm not sure if it's the safest thing to do because it's so close to my wrist, but I've never had an accident yet, and I am prone to accidents. So if someone will have an accident, it will be me. I've had one of those Clover magnetic wrist pin things, and I just have the band left. I lost my magnetic part, so I realized I can actually use my watch for that. All right. So that is pinned in place. Super easy. Okay, so take your pattern piece. Maybe I should have used a different print, but it's a camouflage pocket. We'll call it this way. It's right here. I don't know how well you can see it because it's pretty camouflaged. So take your fabric and go ahead at your sewing machine and stitch with either a straight stitch, because the area is not that big, it doesn't really require a stretch stitch, or you can use a stretch stitch or your twin needles or a cover stitch and stitch around all edges except for the top. This way you can use it as a functional pocket. So all edges except the top, and then I'll meet you back at the serger where we'll be creating the back part, which is the last step of today. Let's create the back piece. For the back piece, you have a top part and then you have the bottom part. Find the center, unless you have marked it the first day, of the bottom line, the bottom edge of your top part, and then find the center of the top edge of your bottom part, it's easier when you use the directional print. Okay, so that's the top, the bottom, and I'm going to match the centers, right sides together, and put a pin in place, and then the edges. This is a 1-to-1 ratio. There is no stretching, no guesswork involved. It has to not stretch. You don't want it to stretch. I'm using two very different weight fabrics, so this will be quite the experiment. I couldn't find any white cotton lycra in my stash to line it, so we'll see if I like it. If not, I can always redo it. And of course, it's not really up to me if I like it. It's up to the boss, my youngest, if he likes it. Because he will be the beneficiary of this shirt. If I'm lucky, I might get some ears made out of the scraps of fabric that I have left, but that's all. Because he claimed it, and I don't blame him. It's super pretty. And I love the quality. Alright, so we've pinned those right sides together, and we're going to stitch it down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. My blade is on its last leg. Truthfully, it's beyond its last leg. I need to change the blade of my serger. But honestly, I'm waiting for Black Friday to see if there's any specials on a new serger. I have my eyes on a baby lock, so we shall see what Black Friday brings. Alright, so this is your back panel. This is so cute. Oh my goodness. I want this shirt. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and top stitch. using my cover stitch machine. You can top stitch with if you want, you can top stitch with a twin needle, or you can top stitch with zigzag stitch. You don't have to use cover stitch for this step, but you definitely can. I think I'm going to top stitch down towards the cotton lycra, because I feel like cotton lycra, it's easier to top stitch than sweating it. Beautiful. And that was the last step for today. So go ahead and give it a good press to remove any waviness from stitching, because you're stitching knit fabric, and post a picture of your progress for day 2 in the comments of day 2 photo of the sew along album, and that will count as your check-in for today. All this waviness will go away with a good steam. Super cute. Alright, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Bye.